Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the Key on Millions.co. Week 5 of the NFL season is here. We know what every team is like on film, and now it's time to separate the pretenders from the contenders. So tonight's game, we have the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. The last 6 games that both of these teams have played, both teams have won 3 of the 6 times. So now we know that this is basically the division championship already, because whoever wins this game has a leg up on everybody in the NFC West. And I would not be surprised if we get later on in the season and the NFC West comes down to the 49ers or the Rams. I don't see the Seattle Seahawks being in that fold, even though they may get a wild card, and the Arizona Cardinals, well, you already know what I said about them last week. So currently, right now, the Rams are a 8.5 point favorite. I do believe that the Rams will win this game. And the 49ers, they still are having injury problems. Brock Purdy, he will not play tonight. So it's Mac Jones at the helm. And we all know that Mac Jones is a below average to an above average quarterback. And I don't think that he is going to be able to hold up against that Los Angeles Rams defense for an entire game. The next game I'm going to cover, we have Sunday morning football, 9:30 a.m. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Cleveland Browns. This game, Minnesota, I expect Minnesota to win. Don't really know what I'm going to see from Cleveland. Reportedly Dylan Gabriel is going to start in this game, so it's going to be a great thing to see Dylan Gabriel start, but we all know who we want to see start, and that's Shador. But Cleveland, they got to see what they have on record. They got to see what they have in Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. I believe Joe Flacco, his time, and well, obviously his time in Cleveland has ran out, but I think that he will still be on the bench. And Joe Flacco, he just needs to be a mentor or an offensive coordinator for somebody, for Cleveland, probably. Because he does not need to go out there and play anymore this season at all. He doesn't. So I got the Minnesota Vikings winning this game currently. Minnesota Vikings are a 3.5 point favorite. I think Minnesota will cover and win this game. The next game I'm going to cover is the Las Vegas Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Indiana Jones didn't have a good game last week versus the Rams, even though the Colts had a chance to win versus the Rams last week. Let's see if Daniel Jones can have a bounce back game, because he is trying to resurrect his career and turn the narrative away from him being a bad quarterback. He's trying to show everybody it was the situation that he was in New York that made him look bad. But now, since he has a competent offensive line, competent wide receivers, and a good defense, he is able to put the Colts in a playoff contending conversation, and it's only just week 5. As for the Las Vegas Raiders, we know that this season they might have to hang it up, because right now they are 1-3 and things are not looking good. The Raiders, they still have the Chiefs on their schedule, Broncos, Chargers on their schedule again, and they also have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Ravens. Now, we all know that the Ravens, they are going through some injuries, and I will talk about that later on in the show. But as of right now, I got the Colts winning this game. The Colts are a 6.5 point favorite. Colts are going to win this game by far. The next game I'm going to cover is the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints. Jackson Dart for the New York Giants, and then you have Spencer Rattler for the New Orleans Saints. Now, the New Orleans Saints are a 1.5-point favorite. This is the first time this season that the New Orleans Saints are favored in a game. In a game. I think that with everything that happened last week with the New York Giants, I think that it's going to transpire this week, and the New York Giants will go down to the French Quarter and find a way to get a win versus the New Orleans Saints. Now, technically, this is a rebuilding year for both of these franchises, so it really doesn't matter who wins this game because neither one of these teams are going to the playoffs. New Orleans Saints ain't going to the playoffs, and as it looks right now, the New York Giants 1-3, not going to the playoffs, but we'll see what goes on between now and later on in the season. The next game I'm going to cover is my Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Jets. Last time the Cowboys faced New York Jets in East Rutherford, New Jersey, they lost. The New York Jets are 0-4, first time since 2020. They are a team that it seems like they have the right quarterback in Justin Fields. They just don't come up with timely stops on the defense. And then you have Dallas, a Dallas defense that has allowed over 35 points per game. And the Cowboys offense is averaging 40 points per game. So something has got to give. Either it will be the Jets winning this game or the Dallas Cowboys. But if I had to put money on it, I would go with the Dallas Cowboys in this game strictly for their offense. Because I know the New York Jets offense is turnover prone. And the Dallas Cowboys offense is not turnover prone, but they are very efficient. But if this game comes down to who has the better defense, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. All my Dallas Cowboy fans out there, Dallas Cowboy fan base, we are going to have to hold our breath because we don't have much faith in the defense right now. We just don't. We don't. So I got the Dallas Cowboys winning over the New York Jets, and I got the Dallas Cowboys covering the spread at 2.5. The next game I'm going to cover is the Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles. One thing about the Philadelphia Eagles, we all know that they have trouble with their offense. Saquon Barkley isn't getting his normal 85 to 100 yards average that he did last season. You got A.J. Brown. He is voicing his frustrations. You got Devontae Smith not taking control of the game. You got Dallas Goedert really not getting plays called for him. And then you have Jalen Hurts. Now, I like Jalen Hurts, but the Philadelphia Eagles are always finding ways to win games that are ugly. And I expect the Philadelphia Eagles to find a way to win this game, whether it's ugly or pretty. We all know that when it comes to championship teams and championship contenders, you're going to have to win a couple of ugly games. You're going to have a couple struggle wins, as I like to say. But in the end, a win is a win and a loss is a loss. At the end of the day, I believe the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this game. They are at home. Even though that the Denver Broncos have a good defense, their defense, they've had some leaks in that defense. Because since the season has started, since we have a whole month on film, the Denver Broncos defense hasn't been that top-notch defense that we were expecting coming into this season. Now, we in October already, and the Denver Broncos defense is allowing 24 points per game. 24. And the Broncos offense is averaging 28 points per game. So I always say, if you are allowing the same amount of points that you are scoring, you are going to get in trouble somewhere. And they've already gotten in trouble because they lost to the Titans. And they lost to, they didn't lose to the Titans. They lost to the Chargers. And then the Broncos, they lost to the Colts. This was early in the season, week 2. So Denver, they have a tough road ahead. Philadelphia, I got Philadelphia winning this game. The next game I'm going to cover, Miami Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers. This might be one of the worst games on TV this week, as far as in the NFL, week 5. You got the Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, done for the season. You got the Carolina Panthers, Dave Canales. I'm putting you on the chopping block. I got to. I'm putting Dave Canales on the chopping block because the Panthers, they haven't shown, not even though this is early in the season, it looks like they're not going to show any improvement this year at all. And you got Bryce Young coming off the bench, always upset, frustrated. He knows that he's trying to generate offense, generate yards, and put some drives together. But offensive line, I said this last season, the Panthers, they need to draft a better offensive line, get some more guys on the offensive line that will be able to hold up for Bryce Young. Defensively, the Panthers' defense at times looks horrible, especially their secondary. The Panthers, they have one of the worst secondaries in the NFL at 27th. The Miami Dolphins secondary isn't that much better because they are at 25th. So you got 2 bad secondaries, and this might be an offensive shootout, I think. But we can also have a defensive slugfest. Now, do I think that we are going to have a defensive slugfest between the Dolphins and Panthers? Who knows? Or it may just be bad offense because the Dolphins have had bad offense over since the season has started, and the Panthers have had a bad offense. So if I'm a betting man or woman, I would stay away from this game. But my pick for this game would be the Panthers in an upset. The Panthers are at home. We know that Tua Tagovailoa is turnover prone. He doesn't have Tyreek Hill in the backfield. He doesn't have his top running back in the backfield. He doesn't have his top wide receiver. Also, Jalen Waddle, he has been non-existent this season. The tight end is non-existent this season. The Miami Dolphins, they are still going through problems off the field. And the Panthers, they are the kind of team that is just trying to, make way for the future. That's what the Panthers are playing for. They are playing for the future this year. Now, do they make the playoffs? That remains to be seen. But as of right now, I would not be surprised if the Panthers win this game. And I'm going to take the underdog in this game. I'm going to take the Panthers. The next game I am going to cover is the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. Currently, right now, the Houston Texans are a 1.5 point favorite. For the Baltimore Ravens, their season is hanging by a thread now. You are 1-3, first time in 10 years since you've been 1-3. The time prior to that was 2005. Both times in your history, you've started off 1-3. You haven't made the playoffs. So historically, the Ravens, they're not going to make the playoffs. But, hey, there's still a lot of season left. Lamar Jackson, he is reportedly going to miss 2 to 3 weeks, possibly 4. So the Ravens season is hanging by a thread. I don't know what they are going to do, because Cooper Rush, he is not going to be able to he is not going to be able to win you any games, because from the running back position, from the wide receiver position, Zay Flowers, he hasn't been he's been non-existent. Now, we all know that Lamar Jackson is the leader for the Baltimore Ravens, but the Baltimore Ravens, they have got a tough schedule. I can tell you, they have got a tough schedule. The next few weeks, here is their schedule for the next few weeks. So, Ravens, you might have maybe two or three. The next three games are gonna be tough. Houston, you got an offense in Houston that has kind of regained their footing against the Tennessee Titans, but I'm not sure, because we all know that the Tennessee Titans were going to be bad coming into this season. You have the Los Angeles Rams, a top-notch offense, and then you have Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, another team that has been gaining their footing and that has went on a winning streak recently. So the Baltimore Ravens are stuck between a rock and a hard place. I heard that John Harbaugh, they might have him on the chopping block. The defense, they have so many injuries. Offensively, Lamar Jackson is out. Wide receivers, the top wide receiver is out. The top tight end is out. Isaiah Likely, he is out. So the Baltimore Ravens, is their season over before it even starts? I'm not going to say that. I need to see what can they do versus the Houston Texans before I say that the Ravens is dead in the water. I have to, because if Lamar Jackson can come back before he is scheduled to come back, the Ravens might have a chance to make the playoffs. But as of right now, it's looking pretty bleak. It's looking pretty dark. Now, I just showed y'all the next three games for the Ravens. If they don't win two of the next three games, their season could very well be over with. So, as far as this game, who do I have winning this game? The Texans are the favorite, and the Ravens, they are injury prone right now. I got to go with the Ravens. I got to, because you know what better yet, wait a minute. I believe this game, it shouldn't even have a favorite. Houston and Baltimore, it should be a pick'em game, because when you see the Texans, they don't wow you offensively. The Ravens, they don't wow you offensively. The quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud, I love me some C.J. Stroud. He hasn't had the type of season that we all hoped for. Lamar Jackson, he is injured. So anybody could win this game. And I do mean anybody. But since the Ravens are at home and they need this game more than the Houston Texans need it, because both of these teams are 1-3. So both of them need it, but the Ravens, they need it more, because if they don't win this game, you're 1-4, and no team ever in the history of the NFL has made the playoffs after a 1-4 start. So for both of these teams, the season is on the line Sunday. So I got the Baltimore Ravens winning this game. The next game I'm going to cover is the Tennessee Titans and the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not even going to go into full in-depth with this game, because we already know what the Tennessee Titans are. We know that the head coach is saying that Cam Ward has got to grow up. We already know that Cam Ward, he used some explicit language during his press conference earlier this week. We all know that there is unrest when it comes to Tennessee from a fan base perspective, because they want the head coach to be fired. They don't know who is calling the plays, and nothing in Tennessee is going right for them right now. And as far as Arizona, you played Seattle last week. You lost. Your offense was putrid, anemic, wasn't able to generate any offense, and it was stagnant. This is the perfect bounce back game. This is basically a get right game for the Arizona Cardinals. But the Arizona Cardinals have lost games like this in the past. So I hope that the Arizona Cardinals win this game. And as of right now, the Arizona Cardinals are a 7.5 point favorite as of right now. Now, point spread could increase or it could decrease between now and Sunday. But I got the Cardinals winning this game. The next game I am going to cover is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. You got Tampa. Tampa is one of those teams that are already playoff bound. I'm already saying that because you don't know what you're gonna get from the Falcons. You don't know what you're gonna get from the Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. They're not even playoff material. That's what I'm gonna say. Then you have the Seattle Seahawks, a team that has surprised me and a lot more other people when it comes to their record. They're 3-1 right now. They got a home game versus the Buccaneers. And I would not be surprised if Seattle won this game. But Tampa's defense can keep them in the game. Tampa, we already know Baker Mayfield has resurrected his career. We get all of that. The defense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is top 15. Seattle's defense is also a top 15 defense. This is going to be a close game no matter what. The winner of this game is not going to win this game by more than a possession, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. I got the Seattle Seahawks winning this game because it's hard to go into Seattle, even though that they don't have the kind of team that they used to have. It's still hard to go into Seattle and get a win in Seattle. It is. The next game I'm going to cover is the Detroit Lions and the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals season is pretty much done for. I'm going to just go ahead and say it, all you Cincinnati Bengal fans out there. This is not your year. I can say that. Joe Burrow is hurt. You got Jake Brown, and he's pretty much stinking up the joint. I heard last night that the Bengals, they are making calls to former quarterbacks that used to play in the NFL, whether it was 2 and 3 years ago. They trying to get quarterbacks to come to Cincinnati so they can have a chance in some of these games. Because since Jake Browning has played, he has not looked good. He played against the Vikings and got blown out 48-10. Played against the Broncos Monday night 28-3. This game and the Detroit Lions, this game for them, they are a 10.5 point favorite. And I believe the Detroit Lions are going to win by more than 10 points. I could easily see the Detroit Lions having a 2-touchdown lead going into the fourth quarter because that's how bad the Cincinnati Bengals are. Now, coming into this season, I needed to see what the Cincinnati Bengals were going to do. I had them at second place in the NFC North. Now, obviously, since Joe Burrow is down, they are going to finish worse than that. But the Detroit Lions, they are on a collision course. They are one of the contenders that could easily, and I do mean easily, host the NFC Championship game. And I expect them to win this game on Sunday. The next game I'm going to cover, the Washington Commanders and the LA Superchargers. Los Angeles Chargers, last week, they lost to the New York Giants. I wasn't surprised that they lost to the New York Giants because we all know that the Chargers are going to charge it. The moment that you think that the Chargers are supposed to beat a inferior team, they lose to that inferior team. Perfect example, last week versus the Giants. This week, they have they have the better team. The Washington Commanders, their top quarterback, Jaden Daniels, he is injured. And I don't know, reportedly, I believe he is not going to play. And better yet, he may be a game time decision. That's speculation that I'm hearing. But the Los Angeles Chargers, this game is going to be close. The Chargers are a 2.5 point favorite right now. Justin Herbert, I see where he is making progress as far as his passing yards concerned. He is throwing the ball he's throwing the ball more, and he is over that 200 passing yard mark 3 out of the 4 times this season. Last season, it was a run first team. The Los Angeles Chargers are a run first team this season. But there are some times where I said before the start of the season that they are going to play against top-notch competition, and the opponent's defense is going to stop the Chargers' run game, and Justin Herbert would have to throw the Chargers to victory. Now, it's a possibility that he may have to do that versus the Washington Commanders. It is. But since the Chargers are at home and under Jim Harbaugh, they have been a good home team, I believe that they will win this game. I do. So I got the Chargers winning this game Sunday. This is the 425 slot of the Sunday NFL package. The next game I'm going to cover, this is Sunday Night Football. Oh my goodness. Do I really have to cover this game? Guys, do I really have to cover this game? You got the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. We already know that this game is going to be a blowout. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll go along with it. But yeah, the New England Patriots and Buffalo Bills will be playing on Sunday Night Football. This game is going to be a blowout. It is. But one thing I can say, these are both division rivals. And y'all know what I like to say when it comes to division rivals. Division rivals, they know what their opponent is going to do before they do it, because you play your division rival more times than not throughout the season. So even though on paper this looks like Buffalo is a 7.5 point favorite, that could easily rise within the next 24 or 36 hours, or it could rise on Sunday right before the game. But all in all, I expect this game to worst case scenario, I expect this game to be a 20-point blowout for the Buffalo Bills in their favor. Best case scenario is the Patriots, they keep this game close, and then the Buffalo Bills somehow wins this game in the end. So either way, the New England Patriots will be making progress, because we all know that the New England Patriots are on the cusp of being a playoff team. And they could be a playoff team as soon as this season. But as of right now, I don't know if they have enough ducks in a row, dogs in the barrel, or whatever lingo or mantra you want to say. I don't think the New England Patriots have enough gas in the tank for the Buffalo Bills. And you going into a hostile environment, because we all know that the Buffalo Bills Stadium is one of the loudest environments in the NFL. So I got the Buffalo Bills winning this game on Sunday Night Football. Now, Monday Night Football is coming down to Northeast Florida this week. We got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Duvall is going to be the host of Monday Night Football, and I love it. I love it. But as of right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are the favorite. They are a 3.5-point favorite. Now, one thing I can say for all you Jaguar fans out there, Jaguars fan base, one thing that the Jaguars can do is find a way to win this game, and I guarantee you, this will be a good step in the right direction to naming the stadium Trevor Bank or the Lawrence Law Firm. Yep, I'm saying it. Because one thing, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are, in the first 4 games, they have the top defense in the NFL. They have the most turnovers in the NFL. And also, Trevor Lawrence, reportedly, and also I was looking at his stats, he is not the quarterback who has thrown the most interceptions in the NFL this season. But he is 5th on that list. So he's not first, but he's 5th. So we got to tone down the interceptions if you are Trevor Lawrence. Now, as far as ETN, he keep getting his yards. He is averaging 85 yards a game this season already through the first 4 games. The Jacksonville Jaguars coaching staff is a very enthusiastic staff. You got Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen, he done became a mild-mannered head coach. When he first came here, he was a mild-mannered head coach, didn't really know how to say Duvall, gave it that vanilla Duvall. But now he done put his emotion when he says Duvall. Now, one thing I can say about this game, Jaguars, this is the first Monday night game that you have had in Jacksonville since 2022. Well, 2023 rather. And historically, the Jaguars, last time they won a Monday night football game was in 2011 over the Baltimore Ravens. So let's see if the Jaguars can somehow get a Monday night football win. I've been wanting this for a while. I've been wanting for ESPN, the NFL Network crew. I've been wanting for everybody to come down to Jacksonville. I've been wanting that for a while now. And I hope that we can start doing this on the regular. I hope that we can do this. ESPN, TV networks for this game is ABC and ESPN. If you live locally in Jacksonville, you already know that the local television stations in Jacksonville, they got your back for this game, so you ain't got nothing to worry about. Now let me go ahead and pick a team for this game so I can give y'all my prediction. I know that we got Patrick Mahomes in this game. Patrick Mahomes, he has revived he was in a little bit of a slump, but after last week's win, putting up 37 points, he has revived his offense. You got Travis Kelce. He is still trying to figure out his way in this offense. You also got Hollywood Brown. You also got Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is reportedly coming back no later than later on this week. He is not going to start for this game, but he will start in week 6 or possibly week 7. All in all, this game it's going to be a good game. It is. Defensively, Jaguars are good. Defensively, the Chiefs are good. Defensively, Jaguars have the most turnovers in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs have the 4th most turnovers in the NFL as a defense through the first 4 weeks. You got a quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, who is already one of the top quarterbacks, and you got a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. We are trying to, we need to see progression. We need to see the Jaguars beat top teams in the NFL on the upper echelon, because right now I've been seeing this all over ESPN. You know, we Jaguars are finally getting recognition, but almost everybody, no matter what network you turn on, almost everybody is saying, "Yeah, well, we know the Jaguars. They are they really for real, or are they just is this just early season success?" I believe the Jaguars are for real, and let me tell you, I would not mind going to a Jaguars playoff game, because these Jaguar fans, they have been excited for a playoff run. And 2 years ago, they had a playoff run. It didn't end the way that they wanted it to end, but this is the most excitement that I have seen from the Jaguars fan base since that playoff run a couple of seasons ago. You got an offensive coordinator who knows what he is calling, and you got the players that also have confidence in the head coach and in the coaching staff entirely. So now, I know that this game is big for the Jaguars. As far as the Kansas City Chiefs, I could see the Kansas City Chiefs somehow winning this game. And I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Although I like what the Jaguars are doing, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I am. And bye weeks for NFL teams, they start this week. You got the Atlanta Falcons on a bye, the Chicago Bears on a bye, Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers are on a bye. And with that, those are my predictions for week 5 of the 2025 NFL season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the keyonmillions.co. Remember, everybody, one last thing. The key is always on time.